Hello, my name is Pumpkin and welcome to the patch. Today we are on the Beanstalk Marshes. I said last time I might go in DLC order with my decorating, but I kind of got sidetracked, a little bit distracted maybe. Last week's Dream Snap was a romantic one and it got me really inspired to do a pink cherry blossom kind of, romantic themed build. So I figured the right biome for it would be one that had that kind of colour scheme. So Beanstalk Marshes has a kind of purple, navy blue look to it. And I thought it really would suit this theme. So obviously I've already done it. So let's go back and see how I did it. So how I like to start my builds is figuring out where I'm going to put the houses. I decided early on that I wanted a residential area and a shopping area. Just here I'm putting down the cafe and coffee shop. I was thinking I wanted to have this over in the residential area, but I soon changed my mind. I really liked Tiana's Palace for this build, but when we get Tony's Restaurant from the bonus rewards in this star path, I might change it to Tony's Restaurant, we'll see. Here I'm realising that I would like all the shops together in a shopping district. And I'm putting Minnie's and Daisy's house down in the residential area. So I'm thinking about what paths I want. I tried out the cobblestone one from Wish Blossom Ranch, still so difficult to say. I ended up going with the Eternity Isle one. I think the grey complements the navy blue and the dark purple of the grass here. So here I'm trying to put more diagonals in the path to make it look less uniform. I really struggle with making things look very square and symmetrical and a bit boring. So I really enjoy the diagonal pathing that is now an option. So I'm just trying to get Daisy's and Minnie's house in the right place, and Alice's as well. So let's speed through filling in this path. I wish DDV had a fill-in button. It'd be much quicker and much easier than doing all this, especially in a build like this that relies on pathing so much. I'm just filling in a town square here, putting in some more diagonals, forcing myself not to do just a boring square. There you go, doing some little pieces at the end, finishing touches. These little drains that are from the star path I think look very cute, from the Lady in the Tramp star path. I knew I wanted to use them, so I put them in straight away. Just like with these conservatories from the premium shop, I knew I really wanted to use them. And that's my dog, yet again. I mean, if I could do a voiceover just once without her having to bark, that would be great. So here we are putting in the Victorian fences, which are from the premium shop this week, just like the conservatories. I'm trying to make it work on the diagonal here, and if you are thinking of getting these, they do not work on a diagonal. Could you hear my dog grumbling again? Not a moment's peace. Anyway, here I'm trying to do Daisy and Minnie's house with the white picket fence. Again, I've accidentally gone very square with this residential area. I will fix it later. Once I added this white picket fence, I really think this area started coming together. So I'm working now on Alice's area, putting in the fencing. Again, this white picket fence is so cute. Now we're moving over to the shopping district, and I'm going to try and figure out what fence I'd like to use here. I tried to go for the conservatory one again, but I knew it was just too many pieces to try and fit in front of these houses, because it's not like these fences where you can just pull and drag. They're specific sizes, so you really have to be quite precise about where you're putting them if you want them to open up for a door. So I'm putting down some hedges here in front of Tiana's. I'm using this wooden fencing from Wish Blossom Ranch. I'm kind of looking at the white picket fences with those and realising it's not very cohesive with the rest of the build. I'm adding in some more pathing, filling it out a bit more before I start with the greenery. I knew I wanted to use these cherry blossoms for the pink, and I experimented with those Eternity Isle trees, but eventually I came to the decision that these maple ones are much nicer. The pop of spring green, I think, really looks pretty in this area. Adding some more of the smaller ones in, and then going over to the shopping district to put in some more. Eventually I add in some birch trees as well. There they are. I thought about using some of the pine trees that actually go with this area, the kind of dark green colour, but I felt like the spring green colours really popped out more. As you can see here, I'm just fiddling around and I don't like it. I use these Wish Blossom Ranch ones with the flags and the little birdhouse in. And I add in some pine trees. I think it makes this area look a bit more foresty with the pine trees, which I quite like. So I like to stick to the same type of trees all around so it looks cohesive. So I'm just adding around some fillers. I'm taking a good look around and seeing where some more areas need filling up with these trees. And I'm adding in the carriage from the star path. So here I'm putting down the garden stool from the new star path. I absolutely love this. It really suits the shopping district as well. So I've just realised it's gone to night here, and I don't realise it in the recording for quite a while, so I apologise for the nighttime build. So I'm coming over to the residential area and deciding that it needs some more decoration. I always like to put these crates around to make the area a little used. And I want to put this Valentine's arch somewhere. It goes there for now. And these cute crates from the Lady and the Tramp DLC is very cute. They're just in Scrooge's shop as well. It's not even part of the Star Path. I'm just putting in the Wish Blossom Ranch coupe there. And the pagoda. I felt like the residential area really needed something in the middle to break up just that big large space. So I want to use this fountain here, the Cinderella one. So I'm just trying to figure out where it would look best. I also get out the Tiana pagoda and decide that would look nice in the shopping district. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with that fountain yet, but it will stay there for now. Here I'm putting in a river kit and forgetting that it doesn't work on a diagonal. And there I am fixing it. It does take quite a bit of learning to get these river kits quite right, but I feel like I'm pretty good at them now. I find when you line up all of the squares just right, it works well. So now I'm just putting the borders around, making sure all the squares are lined up so the borders will fit in properly. All the corner pieces and the borders have to be just right, so this does take a little bit of work. So I knew I wanted this area to have some water features, so I could put the swan boat on there from one of the other Valentine Star Paths. I can't remember how long ago that was now. So I did really want this to work, and unfortunately I had a really annoying bit here where that tree can't actually be moved. It's part of the pond, so I kept on trying to get it to fit in there and had to keep on moving it over. And because of how the river kit is, you have to be very specific with it. It's very temperamental, so this was a bit fiddly. But I feel once it was done, it was well worth it. As you can see with the little swans, I think it looks very cute. I'm trying to put the conservatory Victorian path down, but again forgetting it doesn't work on a diagonal. I'll go back to my white picket fence just to carry on the cohesion with those fences going throughout the build. So I'm coming over here and figuring out how I want to put the well. I've decided to put some more of these Victorian fences down. I keep on wanting to call them paths, which is very annoying. I think this looks really nice with the well here. I then decided to put some lighting in, which really I should have started earlier because I've had to kind of fit it in. These lights are from the Winter Star Path that's just been, and I think they really suit this kind of street area. I decided to use some of my trusty castle ruins. I decided over by the Alice area I wanted it to be a little bit more whimsical, so I figured that these castle ruins would work quite well. To make it look like there used to be a building here, and it's all run down and ruined now, which I always think looks a bit magical. I think these kits are very easy to use, and I really enjoy using them everywhere. I'm adding a bit more whimsy over there with the mushrooms and the rainbow. I decided that that purple of those glowing mushrooms quite suited the colour theme as well, so I added them throughout. I wanted to use Tiana's table and chairs there, but I didn't think it looked quite right. But I did use Tiana's chairs over by the cafe instead. I'm adding a bit more decoration around with these cute bird feeders that look like teapots. It's good to add a bit more pink in with those. And of course I needed to add some seating here and there. These cherry blossoms I think are very pretty. The leaves actually fall down from them and it goes with that pink theme. I bring back my Valentine's arch because I really did want to use it in this build somewhere. I add in a little pink ice cream stand, which I think is very sweet. And just some more decoration here and there. Just lining up some things and adding some more of the colour themes in. I've actually sorted the inventory by pink and red so I can add in the colours. I do wish the sorting was a bit easier, but it's better than scrolling through everything, I guess. Though there is still a lot of scrolling. Now I decide it's time to add in some bushes and some flowers. Of course I've gone for these pink ones from Storybook Vale. I love the pink bushy ones. I use them in a lot of builds. I think they're really good filler pieces, especially when the area is starting to look a bit empty. I love adding a lot of nature to my builds. I think it just looks more natural that way. So now I'm adding these pinwheel flowers from Wish Blossom Ranch. I didn't actually realise how cute they are until I started using them. This is the first build I've actually used them in, and I will have to remember that they exist because they're very, very cute. Adding in some good old trusty butterfly flowers. They are tried, trusted and true. And now I'm going in with a couple of rocks. I'm doing a little rock border here for this blank area here. I feel like I need to do a little filler piece. So I start trying to figure out what items to use here. I'm really trying to use some of the Pixie Hollow stuff here, but it's just not working. Same with that Cruella de Vil tea set. I needed something with a bit of height, so I figured that this water tower turn around would look good. So here I'm adding in the geese into the pen. And deciding that this part around Tiana's, I don't really like the hedge. So this entrance area from a different biome I think needed a little bit of extra, so I added in some stuff there. And this Valentine's arch from another star path I thought looked very nice here with the pink flowers. And again adding some of that white picket fence. So here we are now that I've realised that it was night time and I've put it back to daytime. I'm going around and adding something to this area over here that I thought looked a bit empty. And some little final touches. Well, what I think are going to be final touches. I do come back. And added in my fireflies because they need to be everywhere. Again, trying to make some Pixie Hollow stuff work, but it didn't. I play around with this water tower to try and put in the one from the new star path, which in this moment I think looks better. Here I am deciding that I want to rearrange a lot of the build. I had a look at it and I felt like it needed a lot more detail and less of the pathing, kind of breaking up the pathing a bit more. So here I go in with the conservatories and I try to make these look like they are one structure. I start taking away a bit of the pathing, so we have a bit of a break up here. And I add in the Victorian fence yet again. And I realise I have to move this pagoda. I want to make this area here like a little garden seating area. Maybe where you'd come and get something from Tiana's and eat outside. As you can see, it's quite easy to use these fence pieces. Here I'm adding a little picnic bench and Lady and the Tramp's dining table. I had to have Lady and the Tramp's table, it's iconic, especially for a romantic build. Again, trying to make that Pixie Hollow stuff work. And again, I'm going to take it out in just a minute. I'm adding around some beach grass to make it look a bit more natural and overgrown. And adding in some more cherry blossoms. It needs a lot of foliage in here because I do want it to look like a garden. Needed to put some more of those butterfly plants in. It's the details like the butterfly plants and the small bushes and stuff like that that I really think makes a build. I get rid of the fountain. I just couldn't make it work in this build. Here I am moving the pagoda. I want enough room to be able to walk around, especially now that we have our horses. I really want there to be enough seating around it as well, so I move some of the bushes out of the way. And I'm sorry if you can hear dogs in the background. I also have dogs next door. I'm trying to cut it out. Here I am just rearranging the plant stall and taking out the fencing and making it jut out a bit more. Like I said, I want to have a bit more of a break in the pathing and let some of that grass show through. So in just a minute, here we are, I'm taking out that pathing from there. I think this looks much better. And I've just moved the ice cream stall as well. So I'm just making a nice courtyard here in front of the shops where you'd go sit and have a coffee. Adding in some more details with those crates, which again are a really good addition to the game, especially for free. Forgetting just here that I need a gap for you to be able to actually walk into the area, so I put that in and add some lighting. I'm putting in some of the beach grass to make this area look a bit more natural. And some of the pebble pathing as well. I have a good look to make sure it's not missing anything, so I add in a couple more details. Here again I realised that there needs to be a bit more of a break up in the path, so the colour of the grass underneath is a nice change. I'm just rounding the corners off, making it look a little less jagged, and I think that looks much nicer. I'm just putting in the bushes around it again, and some more plants and beach grass, of course. So I'm figuring out what I want to change next. I realised that around Tiana's it would look nice if some of the grass would be poking through, especially with the fence framing the area. Again, I'm looking around. I'm figuring out that I don't really like this area here with Daisy and Minnie's house. I've also realised that it's about to get dark again in the game, so I change it to full-on daytime this time. I really like what I did here, changing where I've put the houses. Again, like I said before, I do have a habit of making things very square, so I think this was a good change. I put a crafting table at the end to make that part be a bit more functional. With most builds, I do like to add a crafting table and a cooking station. Again, I'm taking away a bit more of the pathing. I didn't quite realise how much it overwhelmed the build. I'm just going around and looking at what needs to change, just the details really. Evening things up, making them look a bit neater. And just here, I think that the gap that I've put in for the grass was a bit too small, so I make it a little bit bigger. And then centre the pagoda. It definitely looks much nicer with these gaps in the path. I'm really glad I came back and changed it. I'm putting some greenery around it, finding some of the trees and bushes I already have around and copying them and putting them there. That's what I like to do with my build, so I don't go too over the top with different bushes and different trees. I like to just go through the build, see what's already there and add more, so there's a bit of cohesion. I'm adding some more details around the pagoda, and where I've just taken away the conservatory, I need to figure out what I actually want to put there now. I put in one of the little fountains from a Valentine's star path that I think was last year. Again, I really can't remember now. I took a break last year, so I forget what star paths I've done and which ones I haven't. Here I'm adding in another water feature with the river kits. I really wanted the swan boats to be quite a focal point, and with just two I thought they needed another really. With me trying to get over my symmetry but still having things look cohesive, I've decided to do a same but different approach. So something that will match but not look exactly the same. A little bit of variation to it, but still look part of the theme. Again, these river kits are very fiddly and they do take a little bit of time to get down. This is even me speeding it up more, so yeah, it really does take some time. Again, I'm just moving things around a little. I find the details really do make a build, so it's good to spend some time to change things around, move things about as much as you feel like you need to until it looks right. I've just added in my swan boat on the other side, and now I'm adding down some lotus flowers and lily pads. So now I'm figuring out how I want the bushes to look and doing any final pieces, like adding in some seating over there and some pathing with the stones, and of course beach grass. No build is complete without beach grass. Adding in some more bushes over here. This is literally the final pieces as this build is coming to an end. So this is my completed build in the Beanstalk Marshes. Let's have a little look around, shall we? So I'm going to start from this side of the biome. Here I put in Tiana's Palace, which I think looks very good in this kind of shopping district. I've got the bakery, the cafe with some seating, and the flower stall. Again, I don't really like the flower stall, so I've hidden it in here. I have another flower stall in here, surrounded by some nice cherry blossoms and some hydrangeas. So I've picked out a colour scheme once again, like I like to do with my builds, and I've gone for lilacs, pink and white accents. Over here I have the pagoda from Tiana's Star Path, and lovely little Alice was just sitting in there. I have the well just here, and a nice seating area here with conservatories from the premium shop. I've put them in a kind of way where they look like they are a complete structure that's surrounding this little garden. Ooh, Alice has got small. I love that animation. So I've left these paths nice and clear so I can get through well, especially on the horses, and down there's to a different biome. Over here I've made a little residential district. I've got the green pagoda in the middle here, where it does look more blue in this biome, and the Beauty and the Beast rose I think looks very pretty there. Lots of seating, and just here we have Daisy and Minnie's house. Again, they go with the pink and lilac theme, so I thought they looked perfect in here. And I didn't really have an area for them that was nice and decorated before. Down here I have a crafting bench, but at some point I saw some spoilers, maybe I've been looking for the upcoming premium shops, and I saw this really cute pet shop, so that might replace it. Just here I have the Victorian house with this beautiful Lady and the Tramp carriage. This is from the Star Path in the bonus rewards. Just here we have Lady's house where she lived with the darlings. And going through here we have this beautiful arch that again was from the Lady and the Tramp Star Path. I love the petals that are falling down. I think it's very cute, a very good item. Down here I have a nice little bench, and just here I wanted to put some water features, so I've used the river kit again. I really wanted the swan boats to be part of this build, so I think they look very pretty here, especially with all the lotus flowers and the lily pads. I've got the tree in the back there, that is again from the Star Path. And we have Alice's house down here. Again, I didn't have a designated area for Alice, so when I saw her house was pink, I knew she would look really cute in this area. Down here I have a little hutch, and I've decided to put some geese in there. I wanted this part of the build to look a bit whimsical because of Alice's house, so we have the rainbow there, and I thought the geese could be her little pets that she looks after. I've left this open so we have good access to the pond for fishing, and I've left this bit down here open to get to the mining nodes that are around here. I love all the fencing that I've gone with in this area. I have the Victorian fences here, and I've used the white picket fences. That's what I mean by the white accents. They really come through in this area especially. You can see with the greenhouses, the pagoda there, and the fences, these little pops of light white coming through, which I think is a really good contrast to the dark purple that the grass is in this biome. So this is my completed build for the romantic theme. I really love how it came out. I did struggle a little bit in the beginning. I had to challenge myself to make things a bit more pickledy, a bit more natural and less square. But I think it came out really well. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've made it this far, like and subscribe. Again, thank you for watching this little pumpkin in this safe space on the internet. Goodbye!